We currently live in an incredible time where one can exit reality and venture into a fantasy online world. This is made possible by the MMO, the genre that we all love so much or love to hate so much, but we still play it every single day. But among all MMOs, there's one that the MMO community usually sleeps on or treats like it's lesser. And ironically, this is the one that has begun to surpass all other MMOs. Allow me to explain 5 ways how Guild Wars 2 has completely outplayed all other MMOs. This is an aspect of Guild Wars 2 that I think is often underappreciated. The fact that it is constantly online. There's no downtime, no server outages, no weekly maintenance periods. I've heard some pretty weird takes about why this isn't a feature that players even care about, but I hard disagree. Having no server downtime is a huge feature. Whenever it may be you want to log in and play, you can log in and play. The game will be up and running and online. Always. Other MMOs have their occasional server downtime. Sometimes it's only for maybe an hour or two, but sometimes it can be up to like 7 or 8 hours long. And in some cases, not mentioning any names, it can take up to a whole 24 hours or even more. Whether you think a constantly live server is a feature or not, you have to admit that a whole 7, 8, or 24 hours of not being allowed to log in and play is a long damn time. Now sure, you could just schedule your own playtime around server maintenance times, but who the hell wants to do that? You want to just play the game when you want to play the game on your own time. Now I don't know the exact technical explanation on how the servers work, but the way I understand it, at least, the servers will run a new and old patch of the game at the same time in different instances of every populated map. When a new build of the game is available, players will be told to log out and back in. Once back in, they'll be in the instance of the game running the new patch. After an instance of the old patch is empty, the server will then close that instance. And this will happen to every instance across the whole game until all players are on the new patch or the time limit forces them to log out to join the new patch. Now think about it, what would you rather? A simple log out and back in every once in a while, or a full stop, no playtime at all from anywhere from 1 to 7 or 8 hours? This one, I'll admit, might fall into a bit of a personal preference debate, but I'll do my best to explain why I think this is a great feature to have. No subscription fee obviously means you're not paying monthly. Instead, you can pay once to buy the game and or expansions, and that's it. No need to worry about your monthly expenses adding on another monthly sub fee on top of the other sub fees you pay for things you don't even use. Let's say you pay a sub fee for a game and you decide to pay for a few months up front because you plan on playing a lot. And then suddenly something happens in your life and now you don't have time to play anymore. Well, tough luck, you already paid for those months, so there's like $80 you're not getting back. Having no sub fee, I think, gets rid of the potential financial pressure, which is a serious concern for a lot of players, especially those who have a lot of real life responsibilities that will take priority. But I think Guild Wars 2 even takes it a step further. There's not even an optional monthly sub fee for something like VIP status or premium benefits. Some games are buy to play, and then on top of that, they have their optional fees to be VIP, which might give you a lot of bonus perks, access to special areas, access to expansions maybe. Depending on the game, VIP benefits are going to vary. But some games offer some pretty substantial benefits to VIP players that put non-VIP players at quite a disadvantage. Guild Wars 2 is a one-time purchase, and there's no VIP status garbage available either. And sure, there's the gem store, there's a lot of quality of life things available there, but none of those things are even remotely comparable to a full VIP status that gets offered in other games. A moment ago I mentioned what happens if you don't have time to play. A valid concern when we're talking about MMOs. After all, MMOs are known for the fact that you have to keep playing. You cannot stop. If you do, you fall behind. That's the way most of them are designed. It seems to be the way they've decided is the best way to keep you playing. The fact that you need to constantly be getting more gear, improving and upgrading that gear, farming materials to improve and upgrade that gear, grind dungeons or raids for a chance for the gear to drop. and then rinse and repeat every single expansion, update, or patch. Guild Wars 2, on the other hand, doesn't really have this problem. There's no falling behind in the endless gear race. When we're talking gear, there's only 3 tiers of gear that are considered endgame. Exotic, which at level 80, the stat numbers stop increasing. Ascended, which has an increase to stats over exotic and gives you the ability to slot infusions. And legendary, which is the same as ascended, but you can switch out your stat combos, runes, or infusions whenever you want. Even if you decide to go all the way to legendary, you're just going through it and crafting it on your own pace. You don't actually need legendary for anything, it's just a quality of life improvement. And technically you only need ascended to do high level fractals. And once you have whatever tier it is you're satisfied with, that's it. There's no more gear grinding to get the next level or tier so you can do the new content. Many players have expressed how they love the fact that they can take breaks from the game whenever they want for however long, and when they come back their gear is still relevant and up to date. They can even go play the brand new content release, which is probably what brought them back to the game in the first place. Unfortunately, you don't always get that in other MMOs. You might take a long break from the game and then come back for a new exciting expansion and realize, uh-oh, gotta go grind and upgrade my gear before I can touch any of that. Guild Wars 2 has quite a unique combat system, and I'm not just talking about the lack of Holy Trinity. It's not like a classic tab targeting, and it doesn't seem like a full action combat either. I always thought it's somewhere in the middle, but still allowing players to lean more towards whichever side they prefer. Although that can also be dependent on whatever content you're playing or the individual player's skill level. The movement and fluidity of combat is just so smooth in comparison to other MMOs. There is no clunky or awkward feeling at all. There isn't any passive stand in one spot hitting things combat that some players like to cope and say is fun and engaging. Actually, engaging is a great word to describe Guild Wars 2 combat. Now we can also bring up skill combos, the fact that certain skills will combo with each other to make special effects. You can also combo with skills from other players. For example, some skills will leave a certain field type, and using a skill with a certain finisher type in the field will create a bonus effect of some kind. Then there's the dodge ability, a simple way to avoid all damage by pressing one button. Every player's got the ability to press one button and avoid all damage as long as they time it right. In fact, with all the tools at your disposal, it's possible to take 0 damage in a fight if you properly make use of all your blocks, dodges, blinds, and mobility. But above all, Guild Wars 2 combat just has a feeling. It's engaging, fluid, and free. It encourages active play, not passive play. Something that's just not accomplished by other MMOs. Most MMOs have you locked down on their clunky axis-based movement. So I guess we could go even further and say that movement in general is another way Guild Wars 2's outplayed the rest. Okay, so I've talked about Guild Wars 2 mounts before and how they have ruined mounts for me in any other game. But that's actually how I feel. Mounts in other games just feel slow and clunky and, dare I say, poorly designed. Guild Wars 2 has significantly raised the bar on mount design in MMOs going forward. Other games just do not compare. In other MMOs, mounts are basically just a cool way of running faster. Because when you break it down, that's all they do. They just move you from point A to point B faster than if you were on foot. But over in Guild Wars 2, mounts are so much more. I mean, let's start with mount abilities. Each mount is equipped with a combat ability that all does something different, and they actually see use in gameplay. It would be easy for something like this to just be a gimmick. Actually, some other MMOs do give mounts combat abilities, but it's usually limited to something lame like a headbutt or a hoof kick. But since mount abilities are designed to make a big impact, they see use all the time. Just for example, the Raptor will pull enemies in towards you. Springer deals high break bar damage. Skyscale breathes fire, burning enemies and leaving a fire field. Warclaw can finish a downed enemy player and even dismount a mounted enemy player. And so much more. They all have great benefits, which is why you'll find yourself actually using them. But it goes even further than that. The different speeds speeds that all the mounts move at. Their movement animations are all different. The feeling of speed and momentum when they move. You really see and feel the stride of these animals. And not to mention the different utility they provide in their movement. Raptor can jump across long gaps. Springer can jump up cliffs. Skimmer can hover across the water or swim through the water. Jackal jumps through portals. Griffin flies through the air going Mach 1. Roller Beetle drifts along the ground, also going Mach 1. If you haven't tried Guild Wars 2 mounts, you have to try them, and they will change your perspective on mounts in any other game. In fact, another thing that new players rave about is the unique feeling that mounts give you that other MMOs do not accomplish. Okay, so I'm gonna stop myself here. I could probably go on a lot longer, but who's got that kind of time? Not me. If there are any other reasons why you think Guild Wars 2 has outplayed the competition, feel free to let me know. Also, feel free to add on to any of the reasons that I did mention. Or go absolutely seething mad insane, because how dare I possibly suggest that my game could be better than your game? Who do I think I am? I must know nothing about games at all. Well, if we're gonna fight it out in the comments, at least be civil. Okay, well, that's all for now. Hope to see you in another one.